Hey everybody, in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to do Amazon FBA step by step for beginners. And we're going to talk about how to make six figures passive income from your passion using Amazon FBA. And if you're new to my channel, this is what I talk about. I'm not a private label person. I'm not a wholesale or retail arbitrage person. I'm all about creating your own unique product and how to make money off of something that you actually love and something that you actually believe in. So let's jump into it here. And before we go in, I do want to answer a question that I've been getting overwhelmingly so much. And that's basically, is it too late? Is it too late to sell on Amazon in 2020? Is it too late to sell on Amazon with this whole crisis going on? And the answer is no. Now, let me be honest with you. I would not launch a new product on Amazon right now, but right now is the perfect time to start building your tribe, is to start building your community, to start working on your product, because all the chaos that's going on right now, in a few months, it's going to be gone. And the smart people are the people that are working on their business right now. So 3 months from now, when everybody's back out on the streets enjoying life, they're ready to capitalize on that. So with that being said, let's jump into it. And if you could give me a shout in the chat if you can hear me. And if you can't hear me, let me know as well, obviously. But just say that you can hear me. And while you're at that, you can smash that like button. So here is what most Amazon sellers do. Most Amazon sellers avoid starting their business. Honestly, like the reason most people fail is because they never start their business. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna link some videos in the description. So after you've watched this video, after it goes live, probably by this time tomorrow, I'll put a link to all these videos. And I did a video on why it's not too late. I did a video on, is it too late to start selling on Amazon in 2020? I did one, is it too late to start selling with the whole crisis situation. And I also did one on why 99% of people fail at Amazon FBA. So I'm going to put links to all those videos down below. But the biggest reason most people fail is they avoid starting their business. And I'm going to be honest with you, selling on Amazon, starting a business in general is not always easy. There are some like hard times. It's not going to be fun 24/7, but the people that get through those hard times are the ones that are going to succeed, and the ones that are going to make passive income, the ones that are going to start a real business. So most Amazon sellers are worried about what software they should use. Should I use Helium 10? Should I use Jungle Scout? Blah, blah, blah. First off, you don't need a product research software. Make sure to subscribe, because in the next few weeks, I'm going to be releasing a video on why you don't need Helium 10. I've already done a video on why you don't need Jungle Scout. Do softwares like that help? They can, but I'm going to be sharing some videos on how to do product research for free. So don't worry about what softwares. Create cool products and cool ideas. Softwares can help. They're tools, sure. Most people also do not understand how all the pieces flow together, in the sense that most people, they might understand, oh, I need to create a good product. Oh, I need to launch it on Amazon. But most people don't understand step by step how to actually get this done. And that's one of the things I'm going to try to solve in this one video, is how do you get all the pieces to flow together so you can actually make a profitable business. The analogy I would use, it's like a car. A business is very much like a car. You can have all the pieces and they can all work together by themselves. But if you don't understand each piece individually and how they fit together and how they work together, your car is never going to run. I've seen so many people that they have a great product, but they don't understand marketing, or people that understand marketing, but they don't have a great product, or there's all these different variables. And that's what I'm going to try to solve as much as I can in this video. And most Amazon sellers feel a constant conflict about which product to sell, what they should be doing. And I know this feeling. I'm going to tell you my story in just a minute. But when I quit my corporate job about a little over 7 years ago, I had no idea which direction to go. And it was terrible. I felt like there was horses. There was like 5 different horses, each pulling me in different directions. And one day this horse would go, and then the next day this horse would go. And sometimes 2 horses in opposite directions were going. And I was like, I don't know where to go. So let's jump into it a little bit more. So this is what most Amazon sellers do. A passion product creator, they use clearly defined systems that generate results that they want, what that you want. And that's what I teach here. I call it creating a passion product versus just creating a private label product or anything else like that. And we're going to be talking about this system step by step on how to do it. Now, everything we are going to talk about, yes, it applies to private labelers, but I like to think about creating a passion product as private label 2.0. And I'm going to share with you why I think that later in these slides. So let's get into it. Amateurs also rely on hoping and wishing. Professionals use systems to get results. And you see this all the time. I'll see new like Amazon sellers come in and be like, yeah, it's going to be so big, blah, blah, blah. And I ask them, okay, well, how do you know this? What have you tested? How do you know that this is going to be successful? Professionals are people that they follow a methodology and it works every time. So for anyone new, my name is Travis Marziani, and I help sellers create passive income businesses on Amazon that they actually love. And I have a company that I love. I really enjoy it. It's called Performance Nut Butter. I created this product, and I'll talk about this more later in the video, but I created this product for me. It was something that I wish existed that did not exist at the time. And so what I did basically is say, hey, I'm going to create this product, and I bet you if I want it, there's another 1,000 people just like me. And that's another thing to keep in mind. Your product doesn't need to be for everybody in the United States, everybody in the world. As long as there is 1,000 other people that are willing to order your product, that's enough to get started. And so over the last 7 years, I've engineered a system that helps people create full-time passive income off Amazon. That's what I'm going to be sharing with you right now, a system. And that's the key. Most people kind of teach you the pieces here and there. I want to teach you the whole system. I'm going to tell you how to put together the car and how each part of the car works. So my credentials, because I know a lot of people, right now, a lot of YouTubers, I'm not going to call anyone out. I think there's enough other channels doing that, but there's a lot of YouTubers that talk about how to make money off Amazon, that talk about how to make money online, and they've never done it themselves. I've started multiple companies. First one I started was a dance clothing company, something I was not passionate about. I'll talk about that later in the story as well. But that was the first company about 7 years ago I started, and that was hard. It's super hard to get people to go to your website. I mean, imagine, like, how do you convince someone to go to your website? It can be done, and I got really good at it, but it's hard. And even once you've convinced someone to go to your website, it's really hard to actually make them decide to want to buy. And Amazon has that taken care of. I'll talk about that later as well. So I learned how to sell online from this clothing company, a dance clothing company, something I didn't really understand, but I understood marketing. And my next company is Performance Nut Butter, which I'll talk about later. So I've created hundreds of articles and videos. I've taught so many people how to do this. I've done personally over $3 million in online sales. And a lot of that came from getting people to go to my website and actually purchase, which is so much harder. I only started taking Amazon seriously a few years ago, and I'll get into that as well. So on YouTube, I've had over 4.5 million views. For anyone that's new, I've been teaching this stuff for a little while, and I've answered thousands of questions. I thought I'd throw this in there just so, I don't know, it's just whatever. I went to USC, which was my dream school, studied biomedical engineering. So I have a very engineering systems mindset. And that's why I'm going to be sharing with you the bigger picture, the systems. This isn't just a run and gun, shoot from the hip type strategy. I'm literally going to be sharing with you the formula I created so that every time I launch a new product, I use the same formula. So here's what I'm going to share with you today. One step-by-step method to create a $10,000 a month passive income business in 6 months that you'll love working on. Now, this is aggressive. Most people, they're not going to make $10,000 of profit a month in 6 months, but that's my goal. That's what I want to do. That's what I did for myself, and that's my goal to teach you in this. A lot of people don't take Amazon seriously. They don't take their business seriously. Those people aren't going to be able to make $10,000 a month in 6 months. But if you take this seriously and you work hard, 100% you can do that within 6 months. Maybe even sooner, but I don't want to make any crazy promises. I'm also going to be talking about how to come up with a winning product idea. A lot of people get hung up on this. How do I find an idea for a product? How do I know if it's going to be a winning product? I have some answers for you on this. And then lastly, something that a lot of people avoid or they never talk about is how to build unstoppable momentum to create your passive income business. That's the important part. I'm going to tell you right now, creating a profitable business, as hard as it is, that's not the hard part. The hard part is staying motivated. The hard part is actually overcoming every single obstacle that gets in your way. And you can do this. I'm going to share some strategies with you because beginners tend to focus on the tactics, the techniques, where experts understand there's a bigger game at play here. I'm at the point where I think I can figure out anything because I've learned the mindset of how to become successful. Now, if you've never started a successful online business before, you've never started a successful business, you're going to have to understand the mindset behind this and how to build that unstoppable momentum. And I'll share with you at the end some of the big, mind-blowing lessons I've learned about that. So let me start off by saying I did not always love my work. Right now, I have a lot of energy. I'm really excited, and it's because I love what I'm doing. I love talking. I love doing these YouTube lives. And by the way, I see there's a lot of different comments. Looks like everybody can hear me clearly. So that's awesome. Do me a favor, if you are listening to this live, or even if you're listening to this in the future, smash that like button. That lets me know if I'm doing a good job. We're at 11 likes right now. Let's see if we can. My goal is by 5:30 my time, which is 8:30 Eastern time. My goal is to get at least 30 likes, and I think we can easily do that. So smash that like button, but let's get back into it. So like I said, I didn't always love what I do. Right now, it seems like I'm a happy guy and I'm cheery, but that wasn't always the case. And out of college, I got a corporate job. That was kind of, I got into my dream college, and I worked really hard to get there. And then out of college, I got this corporate job, that really good paying corporate job. I was really excited, but there was no motivation to work hard. If I worked my butt off at this corporate job, I'd get a 3% raise. Big deal. Like, I could work my butt off and I'd get a 3%, or maybe I work my butt off, I'd get a 5% raise. I barely did anything, I'd get a 3% raise. Why am I going to work hard? And I think a lot of people are in that same boat right now. There needs to be a reward for working hard. And so I ended up becoming really depressed. This is a funny photo of me. I have a virtual assistant that I asked to help find some photos. I ended up becoming really depressed. This photo is almost comical, but let me tell you, about a year and a half into my corporate job, when I realized there was no reason for me to work hard, that I had no future in this company. I was completely lost. I got really depressed, and I didn't mention it here, but one of the big things was I found the book, The 4-Hour Workweek. I don't know if anybody's found that book or read that book. If you haven't yet, I highly recommend it. I read the book, The 4-Hour Workweek, and I realized if I can make $300 a day passive income, I could live the lives of my dream. And let me define by passive income what I mean. What I mean is you work hard up front to build a system, to build a car, right? And then from there, you work a little bit, once a month, or maybe like 4 hours a week at max, and you just put more gas in the engine. So the goal that I had when I quit my corporate job was to build a car, to build, metaphorically, obviously, to build a business that I could just put in a little bit of work into each week, and it would run so I could go live the life of my dreams. So I didn't quit right away. I ended up actually staying at my job for a while, and I became more and more and more depressed. And eventually, I did quit my job, and it was the hardest thing I ever did. I don't want to lie to you. I had panic attacks. Like the week I quit, the day, basically the weekend after I was finally free, after quitting my corporate job, I had a major panic attack because I had no idea what to do next. So I started a dance clothing company with my mom, an online dance clothing company. And I'm not going to go into the details of why a dance clothing company, but the basics was I wanted to learn more about business, internet marketing, all that kind of stuff. And my mom understood the dance clothing niche. And we ended up starting a dance clothing company, and I struggled. I talked about it a little bit at the beginning of this video, but it was some of the hardest times of my life because I'm someone that's used to working hard and getting results. But the truth is I had no path. I didn't know what I was doing. And like I mentioned, it's very hard to convince people to come to your website. It's very hard to convince people to actually purchase a product from your own website. And so I ended up at one point like moving back in with my parents, which was, you got to imagine, I went from a really good corporate paying job. At the time, my corporate job, I was making about as much money as my dad, who's in the picture here. And so when I told my parents I wanted to quit, they're like, are you crazy? So after quitting, after struggling, to have to move back in was a huge blow to my ego. I felt like a total failure. I had to change something, and I took everything I learned and I made a plan. And while I was working on the dance clothing company, I was doing a ton of research, and I found there were certain things that a lot of successful entrepreneurs I was talking about had in common. There were certain things that just made it easier to find success. One of them was doing a Kickstarter. Kickstarter, it was surprising to me how many not extremely intelligent people I would run into. Surprising how many people that I thought I was smarter than and I worked harder than that would do a Kickstarter and they would kill it. Same thing, Amazon. I saw so many people that didn't work as hard as I did, that weren't, for lack of a better word, as intellectual, and they were killing it on Amazon. And anytime I see someone who I think I'm a better entrepreneur than, and they're doing better than me, that's a moment to stand up and say, how come they're doing so much better than me? So I decided, one thing I realized too is I was selling dance clothing at the time. I didn't want to do that anymore. Man, if I'm going to struggle to sell dance clothing, I want to create a product that I'm actually passionate about. And that's ultimately how I came up with the idea for Performance Nut Butter, which is a product that I wish existed. And I'll talk about all the details on how I did it, but basically using the principles you will learn about today, right now, I hit my $300 a day passive income goal within 2 months of launching my product on Amazon. That's not propaganda. That's not, I've shown a lot of screenshots in other videos. If you haven't checked out my channel yet, check out my channel. I'm super open with all my numbers. But using these principles I'm going to share with you right now, that's how I've been able to make $300 a day passive income for the last few years. And like I said, I did that within 2 months of launching my product on Amazon. So here was me, back in the day, struggling to make $50 a day, working hard, living at home. And here was me, I think this was maybe a year and a half ago, traveling around Italy. I traveled around Italy, and I'm not saying this to brag, but only to say what is possible. I traveled around Italy, and I probably worked on my business a total of 2 hours in the month I traveled around Italy. The reason why is because as long as I kept inventory in stock, Amazon kept selling the product for me. And if you're not familiar with Amazon, you send your product into their warehouse, and whenever you get an order, they ship it out for you. They also constantly have new customers coming to their website buying your product. I don't want to say it's easy because I don't want to be one of those people that say, hey, this is super easy, but it's so much easier than what I was doing before. And I'm willing to bet if you're struggling to make money online, the methods I'm going to be teaching you right now are so much easier. So here I am, $300 a day, a lot happier, traveling, enjoying life, making more money, which is just counterintuitive. So I made the bold decision to create a business I'm passionate about and teach other people how to do the same thing. And I do want to point that out. As passionate as I am about creating passion products, companies like Performance Nut Butter, which I'm going to keep making more Amazon products, I'm just as, if not more, I'm actually more passionate about teaching other people how to do it. My goal, like I mentioned, was to make $300 a day passive income. I'm making quite a bit more than that now. And honestly, I don't need more money. What I want at this point is to not only give back, but to create a community of people that can help support each other because I know the struggle. And so I want to keep giving back to people like you. So let's go into it. And so ever since, like I said, I've made over $300 a day passive income. And I'm going to pause here for a second. Right now, we have 42 people on the stream. We're at 18 likes. If you're new to the stream, please smash that like button. And I am going to be answering questions at the end. So for everybody that's here live on the stream, I'm going to be doing all the FAQs at the end. We probably got like another 15 minutes or so before, I'm going to do another 15 minutes of the tutorial, and then we'll get into some more questions, and then maybe I'll do a little bit more tutorial stuff if you guys are still curious. And I see that there is a lot of questions, and I'll just call out some names. Looks like Hector, Maxing Breedy, Hellfix, HM, a lot of guys in there. Thank you for John. Thank you guys all for being live with us. I'll get to your questions at the end. I'll try to do them as best I can in order. So here's me. My name's Travis. Here's some of the traveling. The last few years have been a lot of fun. There has been some stress. Don't get me wrong. I'll talk about that in future videos. But the stress has not been from my business, or it hasn't been financial per se. So here's my first year. And most people on YouTube, and I've mentioned this in other videos, most people that want to brag, they tell you their revenue numbers. This is my revenue for my first year. Sounds impressive, over $300,000. But keep in mind, there was a lot of cost. And this is the cost of my product, Amazon FBA fees, just other fees as well. My first year on Amazon, I did about $120,000, which that's really good. That's way more money than I made in my corporate job. And I didn't work as hard. I honestly didn't work that hard. Then my first 2 years, I did $800,000 revenue, $267,000 profit. In my second year working on Amazon, I did almost nothing on my company. I felt so guilty, but I spent the last year focusing really on this YouTube channel. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the content. I've really been trying to make the best freaking YouTube content out there, and hopefully you think it is. And if you do like it, make sure to smash that subscribe button, and let's go on. So my girlfriend, she was my first real guinea pig. I tested out the passion product formula on her, and this is her company, Vino Cards. And a few months ago, she had her best month. And remember, this is her best month, but she's been doing really good. She quit her job in November. So she launched this company, and for a year was working on it. she started this company while she had a full-time job. And for a year, she was working on this company basically while having a full-time job and having a social life and doing all that stuff. But this was her best month. She did about $6,000 revenue and almost $1,500 profit. And I'm going to be honest with you. I love her. She did not work that hard to get I mean, she's worked very hard, but the amount, it's so awesome. For as little effort as she's put into, I think she'd admit this too, for as little effort as she's put into this, to make $1,500 in a month, that's a pretty nice chunk of change. So let's go into it. So who is this for? So if you're a hardworking entrepreneur who wants to create passive income without hating your life, then you're definitely in the right place. I want people to make money and love their life at the same time. I think I had a very love-hate relationship with money. I thought that you had to punish yourself and work your butt off just to make pennies. And I don't believe that anymore. Now I realize that you can love what you're doing and make money. And in fact, it's easier if you love what you're doing. So we're going to talk about how to do that. So how should you create your business? So the standard make money online approach. Find junk from Alibaba, slap your label on it. That's private labeling, right? It doesn't freaking work anymore. Anyone that's still saying that, I think they're total scammers. I mean, is there a small percentage chance that you can find something that works? Maybe, but it's not a sustainable business. It kills me that some people still recommend that. Most standard make money online approaches, they use gray hat techniques to rank their product. Most of the private labelers out there they're using a bunch of things that you're not supposed to do that Amazon looks down on. Most private labelers are dependent on Amazon. If you have a junk private label product, you can't sell that on your own Shopify website. No one's going to go to your website and buy it. It only works because it's arbitrage. It's a gimmicky thing that's short-term thinking. And I'll explain more of this. I'll link a video down below too about why I think private labeling is dead. And then the last thing is most private labelers, they hope that they don't have any competitors, which just blows my mind. It's like wishing and praying. You're hoping that whatever product you find when you do your product research that someone else doesn't find. And guess what? They usually do. So what happens? The manufacturer undercuts you a lot of times. A lot of times, if you're just private labeling a product, the manufacturer will go straight to Amazon and sell that same product for cheaper than you. A lot of times, if you do gray hat stuff, black hat stuff, Amazon can ban you at any point, and you're unable to sell on your own website if you're doing typical private labeling. So you don't have a backup. And a lot of times, private labelers will have multiple competitors come in. I hear this all the time, and it's competitors selling the exact same product, which is not good. You don't want that to happen. So here we go. So the passion product formula, create a unique branded product that is better than the competition. It sounds so obvious, but don't sell the same thing as your competition. Sell something better. And I'm going to talk about how to do that step by step throughout this whole video. So for everyone new, if you are enjoying this, just to let me know, hit that like button or just let me know you're out there. I'm trying to get to 30 likes in the next 6 minutes. We're going to be tight here. So let's try to get that going. All right. So what are the benefits? Well, the method I'm talking about here, it's more efficient. You're going to make more money. You're going to have a stronger brand. You're going to be able to sell on other platforms. It's going to be automatic income. That's the big one, right? Like if you do this properly and follow what I'm talking about, you're going to be able to make automatic income and your boss isn't going to lay you off. You're not going to be worrying about whether you're going to get fired, all that kind of stuff. And then the other benefit is if you do my method, you can leverage social media, which is an extremely powerful marketing tool. If you're doing private labeling, you can't leverage social media. With creating a passion product, you can leverage social media. So I've perfected the passion product formula. I've done a lot of effort, a lot of time. This has been my mission for the last 7 years, is figuring out this formula that I'm going to share with you. So here it is, the moment we've all been waiting for, drum roll. The basic process is you come up with a really good idea, and I'll talk about how you can do that. Come up with an idea for a product. Create a brand around it. Don't just, a really good product, if it doesn't have a brand, it's just not as strong. Create what I call a launch group. And that's basically what you want to do is get raving fans that love your product before you even launch. You're going to build a business around it. This is all the tax things, all the legal things. Then the next step, and this is an optional step, but I think it's a smart step to do, crowdfund. Before you spend a dime on your product, go to Kickstarter and tell everybody, hey, I have this idea for a product. Do you want to pre-purchase it? My product is normally going to be $28. I'm going to pre-sell it for $20. Then what you do is see if you can raise money. I raised $15,000 on my Kickstarter. I'll talk about that. I haven't even finished my story yet of how I hit and accomplished this goal myself. I'll talk about that in a minute. But you raise the money before you spend the money on manufacturing. So that's how you can test to make sure that your product's going to be a winning product. Next step is to manufacture your product. And then the last step, and maybe most important step, is launch your product on Amazon. Now, I could add one other step, which is launch it on your own website, but that's out of the scope of this video. We'll talk about that in another video. So launch on Amazon. And here's the key. This launch group, all these raving fans you built up, once you go to launch on Amazon, they're going to buy your product and they're going to leave reviews, and they're going to want to leave reviews because they've been with you from the beginning. They want to support you. So let's talk about some time investment here. A typical 9-to-5 job is 40 to 60 hours a week. What I would recommend is the passion product formula is 4 to 6 hours a week. And if you can't spare, let's say at least 4 hours a week, don't try to start a business on the side. It's not the right time. Sure, could you spend an hour or two just to get started? Yes, but eventually you're going to want to spend that 4 to 6 hours. And that's 1 hour a day or 4 hours on a Saturday. Just to put this in perspective, 5 hours, let's say 5 hours is just 4.5% of your waking time. And I put to get a Ling Strong. That was a mistake there. Typo. So 4.5 hours to be able to create a passive income business, to create a money-making machine. So my question to you is, can you spend 4.5% of your waking time to create a money-making machine? So the first thing is so how did I do this? Oh, we're going back to my story here. I'm going to take a break here, not a long break. I'm just going to ask anybody that has any questions, please leave it in the comments, and I'm going to be getting to those. For anyone that's just joined us, we are going to be doing an FAQ at the end of this video. So let's go back here. So back to me. So I had this idea for a really great product. What did I do? I started an Instagram here. I started getting followers. Before I even had a product, this was just a sticker on some other nut butter product that I found. Then I built an email list up, and I created a Facebook group, a Facebook launch group. I'll put a link to a video down below about how to create a Facebook launch group. And remember, those links won't be up until tomorrow. So here's the thing. This is one of the important things about the Facebook launch group. I got all my customers into this Facebook group, all my potential customers. They haven't purchased yet. And I'd ask them questions. Hey guys, what do you think about potential logos? And this was one of the first logos that we got. And from there, it transformed into this, which I think is a little bit more clean. It looks a little bit better. I also asked them, hey guys, this is what my packaging is going to look like. Someone in the group said, no, that looks terrible because it's black and white. Why don't you add some color? And look how much better this turned out than this. And I wouldn't have been able to do this on my own. This is the power of having a launch group. You're going to create a better product. And that's why the passion product formula is the way it is. Other people, they want you to create products on your own. Don't do that. Leverage group intelligence. So like I said, I ended up launching a Kickstarter, raised about $15,000. And then from there, I went and I manufactured my product. This was the manufacturing facility, which was awesome. And it's not as hard to find a manufacturer as you would think. I'm going to be doing a video actually in 2 weeks. I'll be doing a video in 2 weeks about step-by-step how to find a manufacturer and how to manufacture a product. So again, if you haven't yet, smash that subscribe button so you can get that video when it comes out and so you don't forget about it. So then the next step after I manufacture my product is I launched it on Amazon. And in other videos I've done, I talk about how to properly launch your product and how to design this page. Things like the title, what keywords to go after, how to get reviews. I didn't show the bullet points here, but bullet points, how to make a good main image, how to make all the good side images here. I've done videos on all that, so I'm not going to go into detail in this video, but that's some of the key things you need to do. So here's the key. From day one, you want to get as many sales as possible. And then those sales are going to snowball into more sales and more sales and more sales. That's the way that Amazon works. If you get a lot of sales right away, Amazon knows that you have a legit good product. And you're going to want to get a lot of reviews as well. Like try to get as many people to leave reviews. I'm not saying incentivize them, that's against the rules, but try to get as many people to leave high quality reviews as possible. And then from there, like I said, it's going to snowball into more sales. And here it was, this was the second month. Actually, this might be the wrong time frame here. I don't know why he picked this month. Anyways, my second month selling on Amazon, I actually ended up doing $30,000 revenue. This is the wrong dates, but you get the idea. My second month selling on Amazon, I did $30,000 revenue, which to me was about $10,000 profit, which if you do the math, I hit my $300 a day passive income goal. Boom. So how do you find your first product? That's one of the big questions I get all the time. How do you find your first product? So let's go over it. So how most Amazon sellers and most people on YouTube are teaching how to find a product. Find an existing product. Well, that's what? Like what? Okay, so most people on Amazon or most YouTubers say, find an existing product that's already doing well, copy it, and then use some gray hat techniques to get it ranked. I don't understand that at all. If you're going to find an existing product, sure, you can do that, but you better make it way, way better. That's what I did with my product. I'll talk about this later. My product was an existing product in the sense that there was other nut butters out there, but there was no macadamia coconut cashew blend. I came up with a unique blend. I also came up with different targeting and different demographics. I went after the keto space, which nobody was doing when I launched my product. I also, the whole branding behind it was performance-based, like for athletes and things like that. No one was doing that. So let's get into it. So yeah, that's what most people do. Find existing product, copy it, gray hat techniques. What happens? Other people copy you. Duh. Like if you're copying someone else is going to copy you. You're reliant on Amazon because you're selling a junk. You're selling junk that people would only ever buy on Amazon. Some other points here. I forget exactly what those points were. So 2 principles to find a product. Must be the best. Your product must be the best product out there. I don't want you selling junk. If you think that you're going to make money selling junk, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to make a bunch of money selling junk. The other thing is, it must be something you understand. Don't try to sell dance clothing like I did for 5 years and struggled. Can you do it? Yeah. Like if you're in a really tight spot, can you make money doing that? Yeah. It's harder. When I was developing my product, it was easy to do because I was developing a product for me. So how do you do both these at the same time? How do you create the best product and create something you actually understand? Create a passion product. It's so freaking obvious, but so many people aren't doing it. So what is a passion product? It's something that's new, better, or unique. Something that does not yet exist in the way that you're creating it. It also needs to be a premium product. One of the biggest mistakes I see new sellers making is they try to compete on price. No. Be the most expensive product out there. Don't try to be the cheapest product. I, in fact, want you to be the most expensive product. Premium products have better margins. When you have the best thing and everybody knows you have the best thing, you're going to be able to charge way more money for it, and people are going to be happy to pay for it because they don't want to waste their time on crap products. They want the best product, which is going to be your product. Ideally, you'd create something that you wish existed. If it doesn't exist yet and you have the opportunity to create it, that is a powerful product. You look at most multi-million-dollar companies, most billion-dollar companies, companies like Nike, which we'll talk about later. They didn't just create junk and try to make money. That's gross. In my opinion, if your goal is to just make the most money in the world, that's kind of a gross goal. Look, your goal should be to help people out, to create great stuff, and you will make money if you do that. So what are the benefits of creating a passion product? You're going to get more purchases. More people are going to be buying your stuff. You're going to make more profit, and you will love working on the product. Guys, I want to point something out again, and I appreciate everybody that has hit the like button. I know not everybody, I know you can't hit the like button more than once. We got 46 people watching and only 26 likes. We're past the half-hour mark, and we still only got the 26 likes. So seriously, it means a lot to me. When I get those likes, it lets me know that I'm doing a decent job. And if you don't think I'm doing a decent job, put it in the comments. Let me know how I can improve. But if you think you're enjoying this, smash the like button. All right. You're going to make more profit and you'll love working on your product. So here's a passion product example. Nike versus a generic shoe. Nike's a multi-billion-dollar company. Generic shoes, you wouldn't be caught dead in them. They don't make nearly as much money. So Nike's a passion product. If you haven't read the book Shoe Dog, it's by Phil Knight, the founder of Nike. Read that. He was obsessed with shoes. Vino cards, my girlfriend's product. Compare that to if someone said, oh, I'm looking to produce another wine book. Good luck. But her product did not exist. Her product is wine flashcards. There was no product out there like that. And so we were the first ones to make a product like that. And Of course it did well because it was something that people wanted and it was unique. It was different. My product, I made a more premium nut butter, the best macadamia coconut cashew blended nut butter, keto, paleo, vegan, compared to trying to market just another peanut butter. It's so much harder. Like, what makes your peanut butter better? All right, so we've outlined a lot of the step-by-steps on how to actually create a passion product. And for anybody in the future, I have way more videos with way more step-by-step details about this. And you can go to my YouTube channel if you want even more step-by-step details. I'll link a video down below with an 1.5 hour long, even more in-depth tutorial I did. But now we're going to talk about the key component that just nobody's talking about, and it freaking blows my mind. How do you build unstoppable money momentum to achieve? Look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. It says your ideal body. A friend of mine, he had a PowerPoint that I really liked, and his PowerPoint's all about how to like get into better shape. And I'm like, dude, I love your PowerPoint. Can you send me the slides? And I did not change ideal body to how do you your ideal company. So that's why a few of these slides were the same, and I guess I didn't change them, but my bad on that. But the rest of the material is completely relevant and new. So let's go. Lone wolf approach. This is what most people do. This is what most people do with learning anything, but especially businesses. Most people never ask for help, which is what I did for 5 years when I was struggling. Most people figure out everything on their own. Don't try to figure out everything on your own. Other people have already figured out. Most people don't talk about challenges with anyone. When you're going through a hard time, you need to have a group of people around you supporting you. You know, maybe a mentor, maybe just other people at the same level as you, but you need people around them. You also need to measure like your results, so to make sure that you're actually moving in the right direction. So what happens? Most people that try to do the lone wolf approach, they get slower results, if anything at all. A lot of the lone wolf people I see, they don't get any results at all. Most people have just less excitement. They're not as happy because it's tough. Entrepreneurship is tough to do by yourself. I would not wish it on anybody to try to be an entrepreneur by yourself. You need a community around you. And I think if one thing that this whole crisis is showing us is that how strong community is. We're all isolated at home. And I think deep down, we know that we need a community to survive. Humans, we're not meant to be lone wolves. We need communities. Most people have more frustration, disappointment, and little to no accountability. Accountability is huge. You think that you'll be accountable to yourself. Let me tell you right now, it helps when someone else is there to keep you accountable. And I'll talk about how to get accountability partners and all that kind of stuff later. So this is my buddy's company, actually. Might as well just say it live. BuiltLean's his company. I apparently missed that. So ask for help. This is my approach too. He's a mentor of mine, and we share similar philosophies. Ask for help. Ideally, ask from a coach how to get help step by step. Find someone that's 2, 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of you and ask them how you can get help. You want to leverage other people's experience. Learn from them. That's why we have conquered the freaking world, is because we're able to learn from other people's experiences. Share frustrations and challenges for faster progress and maximize your accountability. These are all things that you need to do to be successful. So what are the benefits? You're going to get faster and better results. You're going to have more excitement, less frustration and stress. This is really powerful stuff here. So you must have the right system to generate these kind of results. So this is the hard way. Most people try 60,000 different things. Like think of like a lock. You're trying every single possible combination. Don't do that. Let me just tell you the code. I've unlocked the formula. I've unlocked the code. So there's an easier way. And that's what I share with you. This is my technique. So let me ask you right now, would you like a proven system to create passive income? Honestly, like, do you want a step-by-step proven system to create passive income? And this is what you deserve. You deserve more time and money. You deserve not have to worry about how to pay for your dream life. Like, we all want to live our dream life. You shouldn't have to like struggle. How am I going to make ends meet? How am I going to be able to take that travel, that trip overseas? You deserve a business that makes you money while you sleep so you can enjoy life. And you deserve a business and product you love to work on. Look, you're not going to always have to work on your business, but when you do work on it, you should love to work on it. It shouldn't be a chore. So here's my dream client. And here's how the process works. So this is who's this for? This is for people who want to start a passive income business. I'm not looking for people that want to have a 50, 60, 70 hour a week job for the rest of their life. If that's you, that's not my ideal person. Like, look, you might get to the point where once you launch this product, you love it so much that you decide that you do want to work on it, but I don't want to work with people that want to be slaves for the rest of their life. This is for people who have tried and failed to make money online before. So if you've tried other things and it hasn't worked, this system is for you, because I think my guess is that you haven't step-by-step followed the right system. And my system, I firmly believe in, could work for you. Who's this for? This is for people who take their wealth seriously. This is for people that actually want to do something to improve their wealth circumstances. This isn't for people looking to go on welfare. And there's times where people need welfare. I'm not trying to belittle that, but this isn't for people looking for handouts. This is for people looking to take things into their own hands and actually make a difference in their own wealth. This is for people who take personal responsibility for their actions. And let me ask you right now, are you one of those people that you actually take responsibility for your actions, or do you blame other people? Because if you blame other people, this is not for you. But I think that you're probably one of those kind of people that actually does take personal responsibility. This is for people, most specifically for people who understand they need to have some skin in the game. A lot of people just want everything for free, and they just want free material. And most people that do that never actually start a legitimate business. So let me talk about who this is not for. This is not for people looking to get rich quick. This is not a get rich quick scheme. You're not going to become a millionaire overnight. It's going to take some work, and you're going to make money eventually. This is not for people who want to use product research gimmicks. You know what? I'm not going to try to claim that I'm going to show you some crazy technique that's going to make you a millionaire overnight. There's no quick shortcut gimmicks. This is not for people who make excuses and complain constantly. I've worked with those kind of people. I don't want to work with them again. That's not worth my time. This is not for people who are stuck in that information gathering mode and are not prepared to take action and get results. A lot of people on YouTube, 95% of the people on YouTube are in this stage. They're in information gathering. They're in analysis paralysis, and they're not taking action. I only want to work with people that are willing to take action. I think it's a big mistake. People constantly want more information. Start taking action. I don't want to work with people that aren't willing to take action. This is not for people who are not serious about creating the life and business of their dream. If you're not serious about going after your dream life, if you're not serious about actually going out and obtaining your goals, this is not for you. So for me, the reason I say all this, the better fit, the better the results are going to be. The better you fit all the criteria I just said, the more likely you are to succeed. And I'm looking for win-wins, because I don't want to work with you and it doesn't work for you, because that means it doesn't work for me. I don't want a parasitic relationship. I want a positive relationship, a win-win relationship. So here is what I'm offering. I have a free Amazon FBA course. There is a link in the description, and basically, this is the real first step. So it's free, and I want to put a caveat here. I do ask for a deposit. There is a $997 deposit that you get reimbursed under one of two circumstances. Either one, within 30 days. For any reason, if you don't like working with me, you don't like the course, I will give you 100% of your money back within 30 days. I'll pretty much no questions asked. I might ask you how I can improve the course, but no real question. Like I'm not trying to steal your money here. So that deposit can be returned within 30 days. Otherwise, I'm going to hold on to that deposit until you launch your product. And my goal is to get success stories. My goal is to get testimonials. So if you're serious about this, I'm basically willing to let you take my course for free. And the reason I'm doing this is to help out people like I was. A few years ago, I was struggling. I didn't know which way to do it. And I was cheap. To be honest with you, I was arrogant and I was cheap, which is a terrible combination. And I thought to myself, I could figure out everything on my own. And I wish a mentor would have came to me and said, hey, I'm going to help you out for free. Now, there has to be skin in the game. I've tried to help out a lot of people, and most people I try to help out for free, they end up quitting as soon as it gets tough. So I want you to have skin in the game so that you can become successful. So there is a link in the bio. It's the Passion Product Formula. It's effectiveecommerce.com/PPF. You can sign up and join the email list, and I'll email you personally and make sure that you're a good fit. But I will say time is a factor. Honestly, and I know this sounds like a salesy internet marketing thing, but it's not. I just opened it up. Part of the reason I'm doing this YouTube live is I just opened up this course. I've opened it up in the past, but I reopened it today, and I'm closing it next Tuesday no matter what. Or once 20 people join. And right now there's 47 people in this live stream. Another few thousand people are going to see this within the next 24 hours. So time, it is a factor. So if you want to join, what I recommend doing, click the link, put in your deposit, try out the course for 29 days, and then ask for your money back before the 30-day money-back guarantee if you don't like it. Reserve your spot. There's only going to be 20 spots. So to me, this is a no-brainer. I really want to help you out. And part of the reason is I want more success stories. Ariana is a success story for me. There's some current people in the group that are success stories that I didn't have time before this to get testimonials from, but I want more. I want to be able to point out 20 success stories. I want to be able to have you 6 months from now on my YouTube channel sharing your first month of sales on Amazon. That's powerful to me. That creates good YouTube content for me. It creates, I'll promote your product on my YouTube channel. It creates this whole ecosystem. My goal is to create a community of passion product sellers, people that are selling products on Amazon that they're actually passionate about, where we can all help each other out, because I think the future is going to be where people are actually doing things that they love, doing things that they're passionate about. I'm going to tell you right now, AI and computers, they can do the boring work. A lot of these boring jobs of people just trying to make money, they're going to be gone in the future. But you know what we're always going to have as humans over computers, AI, all that kind of stuff, is our passion and our ability to understand customers better than anybody else. So click the link. Time is a bio. Even if you're not sure, you can put your email in. I'll email you back and forth. There's no commitment. Put your email in, and then you can check out the product page, see if it's for you. There's so many benefits. I'm throwing in 2 hours of consultation. I'm throwing in, obviously, all the videos, weekly Q&A calls. I don't advertise this on the page, but I'll tell you right now, it's lifetime access to all my weekly Q&A calls. So as long as I'm doing Q&A calls, you can join. And you can join once a week. It's an hour to an hour and a half. I do these calls, and I answer all your questions. Like literally one-on-one. It's a Zoom call. So unlike this where it's chat, on the Zoom call, you actually get to talk to me live, and I'll ask you how everything's going. It's a crazy deal. And I want to point something else out before we go any further. And I'll get to Q&As in just a second. Right now is the freaking perfect time to start working it on your business. A lot of people are locked at home. A lot of people they're in panic mode. And most people aren't thinking 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the line. If you can be one of the smart ones that stays clear, calm, and actually thinks further down the line and starts on their business right now, if you can be one of those people, you're going to be freaking so successful. I'll put a link tomorrow to some of the videos, or you can check out my channel. I did one on why during this whole crisis is a great time, or it's technically called, is it too late to start selling on Amazon, during everything going on? And the reason I basically came to is over half of the top Fortune 500 companies were started during a recession. So even though economically things seem a little scary, there's new opportunities coming up. I'll also add, I'm going to be doing a bunch of videos on some ideas, some really amazing product ideas for this crazy time and after this crazy time. There's so many opportunities. So guys, I can't stress it enough. Click the link in the bio. Go check out the product page. I'll email you private emails one-on-one back and forth, so you can ask me any questions and see if you're a good fit. So with that being said, go below right now and apply. All right, guys, that's the end of the PowerPoint, but I'm going to go into Q's and some A's. Let me make my screen bigger. That's me. That's a lot of talking. I say this, I've been doing a lot of these YouTube lives, and if you like them, please let me know. I don't want to keep doing them if people don't like them, but if you do like them, I'll keep doing them. So we've had a lot of questions, and you know what? I'm going to try to jump around and answer any of the questions that I see that are like the most common questions. But do me a favor, even if you asked a question earlier, if you still have a question, ask it again. And do me a second favor, smash that like button one more time. I've been talking 50 minutes straight, and if we can get to 50 likes in the next 10 minutes, I'll stay on for a little bit longer. Otherwise, I'll probably call it. So let's get into some questions. So someone asked me, how did you transfer from Kickstarter to FBA? It was very simple. I got my product manufactured, and then all those people in the launch group, I told them I'm going to be launching on Amazon. And I sent out an email to everybody saying, hey, I just launched on Amazon. make sure you go buy the product and please leave a review. How much money do you recommend as a minimum investment? What net income percentage to expect of that? So I do have a video on how much it costs to sell on Amazon. I'll try to link that down below tomorrow as well, or you check out my channel. I go over the costs. The truth is, if you're willing to put in the hard work, you can raise 100% of your money via Kickstarter. You don't need a ton of money. Now, a few $1,000s, if you have that, is nice just in case, because sometimes things go wrong. You don't need a crazy amount of money. I'll be doing more videos on that topic though, for sure. Let's see, what book? Someone asked what book. I'm assuming you're talking about the 4-Hour Workweek. Let's see. Is Amazon FBA a 100% sure business? I don't know what you mean by that. Just because you do Amazon FBA doesn't mean 100% you're going to make money, but it does mean, but I think it's a great business. It's a real business. Princess. Hey, Princess. Princess is actually a member of the course. Give you a shout out. Thanks for commenting. Someone asked, can we rewatch the live stream later? Yes, you can. So Stell, I think it was Stell, asked, does the passion product course apply to people that don't have a passion product idea yet? Yes. You know what? Thank you. That's a great point. I help you come up with an idea. I've got basically I call it the passion product idea generator, and it's like a step-by-step process that I'm really confident. If you follow my process, let me put it this way. If you actually follow my process and you don't come up with a passion product idea, I'll give you your money back, even if it takes you, 6 weeks. If you show me you actually put in the work. So Stell, don't let that stop you if you don't have an idea. I think I have a process that'll work for you. John, okay, I'm not going to say, I'm going to try to say your last name. John Pangopoulos. When is my new product coming out? Ooh, it's juicy. I'm very confident May 5th. Very, very confident. For the first time I can say that. I think I could do it. Yeah, May 5th is fair. Let's go May 5th because I don't want to do any earlier. So how did you know how to start formulating the recipe for Performance Nut Butter? Somebody asked me. I just started mixing stuff in my kitchen. I really just started doing tests myself. Hector said $9.97. I don't know. I don't remember. Did I say something else? Yeah, $9.97. It's not quite $1,000. It looks nicer, right? And remember, it's just a deposit. Like that's the big thing. Like I said, I do it as a deposit method because I want to encourage people to finish it. I want them to have skin in the game. But honestly, if you finish it and you actually put in the hard work, I don't mind giving you your money back. I do expect that you launch a product, and I do expect a video testimonial, a glowing video testimonial, to be fair. How do you know how much inventory to purchase? That's a complicated answer. The short version is you do some market research, and you can see how much relatively similar products are selling. You can determine how well your product sold as a Kickstarter, and assume that that's what it's going to be more or less on. That's what it's going to be on Amazon to some degree. There's some formulas there. I'd say whatever you do as a Kickstarter, double that, and that's your average monthly income, more or less. And it's a little bit more complicated than that. So what's the most difficult / easiest part of the passion product formula? Honestly, the only part I personally think is difficult, no, there's two. The main part I think is difficult is coming up with an idea, which I think is super easy, but that's where a lot of people do seem to struggle. And for anyone that joins, I'm willing to work with them in depth on how to come up with an idea. And then the second part is emotionally, when you make that commitment to buy your first round of inventory, your first production run, it is scary as all get out. Like it's so scary. I don't usually say, I'm trying not to curse. That was a weird phrase I just used there. It's so scary when you first do your first production run because you're sending a wire to somebody. I'm going to be doing a video in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'll be doing a video in 3 weeks about how scary it was for me and doing the production runs for Performance Nut Butter Cacao, and how much fear and anxiety and craziness I went through. This last year and a half has been insane. And I'll talk about that in a future video. So Stell asked, Shopify versus Amazon FBA. I have a video on my channel that goes in depth on that. The shorter answer is Amazon FBA all day long. Shopify is so much harder. You got to convince people to come to your website, which is freaking hard to do. Amazon already has the customers. Also, you got to convince people on your Shopify website to trust you and purchase from you. People already trust Amazon. Like the two biggest barriers of success, Amazon has crushed. I don't even think anyone that says Shopify is easier is so full of baloney that it's ridiculous. See, I did it again. I didn't curse. That's hilarious. Again, guys, I've talked about this on other lives, but it's really weird to talk to yourself. It's not talking to talk by yourself, and there's no back and forth for an hour straight. All right. Yeah, Princess said, yep, that wire transfer. Yeah, Princess is crushing it. I can't wait for her success story because, yeah, I can't wait to get her product too. And that's another thing I didn't mention. Anybody that takes my course that joins, I'm going to do everything I can to help you succeed. Like I'm going to share my product on my Instagram, the Performance and Uploader Instagram. Once you have a little bit, once you're further along, we can share your story on my YouTube channel even. All right. So John, he asked, have I sold in retail my product like Costco and Walmart? Nope. To be honest, as I mentioned earlier in the video, my goal was $300 a day passive income. Once I hit that, I actually started focusing a lot on this YouTube channel. That being said, I'm going to go back to focusing on Performance and Uploader. I have an intern. Actually, I have one intern that basically right now is working for free for me. And then I have another person that I'm talking to that's a friend of mine that I might end up working with me. Guys, I'm going to warn you, we got 3 minutes left and we're only at 43 likes. So if you want to keep going with the Q&As, please smash that like button. Otherwise, we'll probably wrap it up pretty soon. What's the most difficult part of FBA when you're shipping? Can you rephrase that question? I don't know if I understand that. Julio, I almost said Julio. Julio says, do you teach how to start a Kickstarter? Yeah, I teach in depth how to start a Kickstarter. I think that's a very important process, especially if you're tight on cash. That's something, and it's something I'm always learning more about how to do a Kickstarter. So that's something, if you're interested in that, I'll definitely work with you more one-on-one. Sean, how's it going? I don't know if it's the first time I saw you, Sean Sherwood. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sean. I know we've talked a lot over email. I'm pretty sure you've joined the course too. Thank you for that, by the way. And one thing I want to do is, we're at 48 likes, guys. 2 more likes in 2 more minutes. And I know a lot of people, you can't like more than once, so we're reliant on all those people that haven't hit that like button yet. I'll do at least another 10 to 15 minutes if we can get up to that 50 likes. That makes me happy. Thank you, guys. Let's see what else we got. Ash said, how long did it take for your product to be approved by the FDA, and what was the product like? So I could be doing something wrong, but my understanding is your product doesn't need to be approved by the FDA unless it's like a drug. My manufacturer needs to be approved by the FDA. My product, that's not how the FDA works. It's a common misconception. Princess, let me ask you, have you dealt with the FDA at all? Oh, you get samples tomorrow. Please take pictures. One thing I want to start doing is getting people, and I'd love it if you do this, getting people to use the hashtag passion product. And I want to start getting everybody, I really want to start this big following of people that are into this idea of passion products. So Princess, please use the hashtag passion products. I'll go in, I'll like your photos. That reminds me, I need to start telling people to start doing that. Sharon, where have you been? Usually you're the first one to be asking questions, but I'll get to your question in a second. Stell said, how much of a budget to start off Amazon FBA? It really depends. The course is $1,000 deposit, which I said, as I said before, you'll get returned to you as soon as you launch your product, assuming you followed my methodology. Obviously, if you just launched a product and you didn't follow any of the methodology, then it's not your testimonial isn't going to work. But that's $1,000, and I'd say you don't necessarily need money because you can raise all the money you need from a Kickstarter. But if you have a few $1,000s, that helps. Let me know if that answers your question. I do have a video on my channel about in depth how much it costs to start selling on Amazon. Okay. Yeah. Princess agreed with me. Most time the manufacturer takes care of the FDA process. I'm always nervous saying that on YouTube. Guys, we hit 50 likes. Cool. I'll stay for another 10, 15 minutes. Thank you guys. We just hit it. That's crazy. I'm always nervous saying certain things because honestly, there's certain rules I might not be following. And it's just, I'm doing my best, but it's, how do I explain it? I'm always nervous that I'm going to say something and I'm going to get a lawyer calling me up and saying, actually, you owe us $1 million. So I'm careful what to say. How do you make the shipping process easier? Smooth is what I meant. Calling Amazon, got a shipping plan. Shipping to the warehouse or shipping when you get a sale? I have a video on how Amazon FBA works. Smooth. I think that might be a better video for you. I'm still not fully understanding the question. How do you make the shipping process easier? Shipping to the warehouse is pretty easy. Stel said, guys, please hit the like button. Thank you, Stel. Yeah. All right. Do you still advise us to find manufacturing? So it depends. I'd say don't just go with China. Have a backup country. So find manufacturers in China because they're probably the cheapest. Look in the US. Compare pricing. Look in India. Look in the Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand. China is going to be the cheapest, but it's not always going to be. You might want to have backups. I think that's the big lesson to learn from here. Up to 52 likes. Wow. I love it. I love it when we have more likes than we have viewers. We have 52 likes and 40 viewers. Guys, actually, I'm really curious. How did you find this live stream? If you could leave a comment, and obviously, if I already know you, it's probably by email. And let me know if it was by email. How did you find out about this live stream? Was it from YouTube's, like your home feed, or was it from the search or something else? All right. Did you ever ship a product to yourself before? Yeah, I'll ship products to myself before shipping it to Amazon. Guys, let me ask you this too. How is the video quality? I know I'm asking a lot of questions. Is the video quality okay, or do you think I could do better? I'm thinking maybe a little bit closer of a shot next time. Ren asked, how did I find my designer? 99 Designs. I think I have a link to it in my description, which you can check out. John from email. Raul follows my channel. Thank you, Raul. Email from Princess. I figured it was email. Estelle applied for the internship before. YouTube and email. Nice, nice. All right, guys. Well, there's more questions. I'll just ramble for a few minutes. Let me see. I'll tell you some personal stuff, actually. So personal things going on in my life right now. If anybody's, I don't know if you guys are curious, but I'm just sitting here. It's better to tell you than to talk in silence. I actually had a conversation with my manufacturer today. And I want to say a few different things. A week ago, I was pissed. I was so angry. I don't get angry very easily, but I was like, I needed to move around and like yell because I was so angry. Basically what happened is, I pay more, I'm going to simplify it. I pay a set price to do a day's worth of production. And they told me that I was going to be able to do 3,000 pounds worth of my nut butter in that day. And they only ended up doing 2,000 pounds. And I was pissed because that's money out of my pocket. I still pay the same, but I get less of a result. And basically it was a mistake on their part, and I was pissed. I ended up talking to my manufacturer today, and I got to tell you, it reminded me that he's a human, that he's a nice guy. He's not out to get me. It feels like he's out to get me, and he's trying to screw me, and he's trying to steal money from me, but he's not. And I'm going to be doing a video about this in 2 to 3 weeks because this has tested me on so many levels, this process. For whatever reason, Performance Nut Butter Cacao, I've probably lost about $15,000 in product research and development. It's been freaking insane, and I'm going to be doing a video about that, and I think I honestly want it to be one of the best videos I've ever done, and I'm going to save some of the lessons for that video. But what I realized is you got to stand up for yourself early. You got to make sure you find the right manufacturer, and you got to stand up for yourself early because as much as they want you to succeed, they care about themselves first, but understand that they're good people. And I'll talk about some negotiation stuff and stuff like that I learned. Zaid said, why are there no reviews for your training? So the training's only a few months old. So that's why. Zaid, take it. Leave a review. I do have some people, I will get some people to That's a good point. I'm going to get some testimonials and some people reviewing it. Honestly, I haven't even thought about it that much because people have been joining despite there not being testimonials, but you're right. That's not smart of me. I should make sure I have more testimonials. Sharon, did I answer you? I know you had a question earlier too. I didn't see your earlier question. I'll answer this one. Sharon, since you're always on here, I'm going to prioritize your question, then I'll go back. Someone said use the rule of thirds when aiming your camera. I don't think that applies to webcam because if I was over here, let's say I was over here, it looks goofy. It makes sense in certain situations. I think that's, yeah. Anyways, okay, same question. Let's see. Do you fulfill by Amazon for your Shopify store? No. I would recommend most people do that, but I have another business, my dance clothing business, which I talked about earlier. I still have employees there, and they ship for me. Actually, right now it's been my mom. We had to let go of a lot of employees because the whole situation. There's a certain, I'm trying not to talk too much about the crisis because it can get my channel in trouble. It could get this video demonetized. So I'm trying not to say say the C word. That sounds worse than I meant it to. Let's see. What other questions? Oh, Julio said he watched one of my videos on YouTube and fell in love with it because I explain everything so simply and understandably. Thank you. That means a lot. I try so hard on these videos. I can't even begin to tell you. I put so much work into these, and I feel like a lot of people, I get a lot of flack because, it's a make money online type thing, and people think that's always a scam, which it's not. Yeah, and Stell asked, are you going to walk us A to Z through everything to create a passion product? 100%. And if you ever have questions, I have that weekly Q&A call. You can also we also have a Facebook group where you can post questions. I want my course to be 100% the best course that is out there. And to do that, I need your help. I need you asking questions. So I think everything is clear, but I understand it better than most people. So if anything's not clear, definitely let me know and I'll do my best to make it as clear as possible. All right, let me see what else we got here. Okay, my face is too low in the frame. Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you there. Yeah, it's my webcam. It's as tilted down as much as it can be. Yeah, I agree with you there. That's a good point. Thank you. But let me ask you this, Mazungu. You still think I should be centered though, right? SSS5 says, Travis, answer my question. Sorry, guys. I don't know what your question is. You don't need to yell. We're right here. You're going to have to repost your questions. I don't see any questions. Raul said, how hard is it to get into Amazon FBA being from another country outside the US? It's super easy. So many people have done it. I haven't done it myself, so I don't want to talk too much on it, but I've talked to a lot of other people that say it's super easy. SS5, I'm waiting for the question. All right. Let's, I'll go one more minute, guys, and then I should pack it up. I actually have a call with a friend and mentor of mine, an Amazon FBA friend and mentor later. And then I promised Ariana, she keeps talking about how amazing the notebook is. And I surprised her. I told her I don't want to watch the notebook, but I surprised her. I'm like, you know what? She's such a sweetheart. She left a note for me. So in the shower, I have, a notepad where I could take notes, and she left just a nice little sweet note. It took, 10 seconds for her, but I thought it was so sweet that I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something nice for you. Let's watch the notebook. And, I think it's funny because, to be honest with you, she's a lot more thoughtful than I am. I'm always in my head. I'm always thinking about other things. I don't do a good job of thinking about, doing something nice for her, where to her, it's no big deal. She's like, la, 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 I'll write a nice little note. She's just sweet. Stell said, can I start off with 3K? Yeah, you can if you raise money from my Kickstarter. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit harder. So SS5 said, creating a unique brand out of the product. I don't know what you're asking. I don't see another question. Your other question must not have got posted. So do me a favor, SS5, on the next, okay, like Life Water from Procter & Gamble. Yeah, okay, so here's the thing, SS5, you can do that if you have a multi-million-dollar budget. But even their product's a little bit different than Gatorade. They have a unique angle, a unique spin on it. And they also paid, LeBron James few million dollars. So yeah, private labeling works for companies like Procter & Gamble, but they always are trying to make better, unique products. That's a good suggestion. You need a partner to bounce the dialogue back and forth with. You speak while they read comments and vice versa. I'm going to tell Ariana that. She could be my partner on the next live. Maybe that's a really good piece of advice. Let me save that. Branding, is branding a general product? So private label is where you take an already existing product and just put your own brand on it. Creating a new product is where you actually do R&D. So like I said before, Procter & Gamble spends millions and millions of dollars on R&D. That's not private labeling anymore. They're creating new, unique things. Private label is where you take an already existing product and just slap your brand on it. Stell says, could you add more color? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Oh, let's see. What kind of product to create and to be targeted on Kickstarter? Stell, honestly, I think you're so interested. Just put in the deposit, join the course, and within 30 days, if you don't think it's right for you, I'll give you your money back. I'm not gonna do anything tricky. It's not worth my time to try to trick people. So Stell, I gotta get going. Thank you guys all so much for joining. Make sure to like and comment down below. I'll put the links tomorrow. I'll hopefully the next YouTube live I'll do get here early and I'll answer all your questions. Thanks everybody for joining. I really appreciate you.